let's chat about the difference in hardcore sales versus heart sensed sales. Okay, are you ready for this? So when I say heart sensed, we could call it heartfelt, heart of service. We could call it intuitive. We could even call it spiritual, but I don't want you to change the channel because I said the word spiritual. Let me be clear. When I use the term spiritual, I am not talking about religion. Now, if you're a religious person, then that probably doesn't faze you. So don't worry, stay tuned. However, for my people out there who are like, oh my gosh, is she talking about spiritual sales? Oh, I don't know. Trust me, I'm not talking about it from the perspective you might think. In fact, I could call it, instead of heart-based, I could call it higher self because it goes all in the same column. There's hardcore sales. So let's just kind of compare them. In hardcore sales, you go out, feel the aggression to that. You go out and you find clients. You overcome objections and you talk them in to listing or buying with you. You negotiate from a place of scarcity. It's very common. You get super stressed out when your clients get upset with you or when the other agent, presents something that you don't like. You work many hours and you don't spend time with your family. Pretty soon your health starts to go. Before you know it, you're overeating or over drinking or overspending or over gambling. That's hardcore sales. And the reason that I'm so opposed to it as both a client and prospect and as a practitioner is because it is not healthy. It doesn't feel good. And it's not in alignment with any of our higher selves. So now let's look at the higher self selling or the heart sense, the heart based. Number one, I start every day connected with my higher self. Okay, it can mean anything to you. It doesn't have to mean prayer or meditation. It can. But for me, it's a matter of getting grounded and just being centered and at peace. For my husband, it's going out and doing weeding, or working in the yard. For some people, it's golfing. For some people, it's being on the water. But if you can't do that every single day, you have to find another way. And so one of the things that I teach my clients is metacreation. And if you read any of my books or you follow me, you know what that is. But I'm not going to go into that now. Let's suffice it to say, finding yourself in a grounded, peaceful place where you are in private and you have just 5 minutes to yourself before you have caffeine, before you start scrolling or TikToking or shooting reels, before you start doing any of that stuff. Just you breathing with your higher self. That is the best way. It is the only way, in my opinion, of how to start a day, especially if you're in sales, because you know how competitive and scarcity minded, feast or famine and all that. And you've got to have your protective shield on, like your field, which is around you. I'm not talking about a hockey field. You have a field around you. And that field that is around you, in you, is what either repels or attracts clients to you. So when you start out your mornings in that grounded, pure place of, joyful expectation and gratitude and generosity, all those things, the good emotions, you are building a field that's strong that will help shield out the icky stuff and help pull in and attract the good stuff. So far, so good, right? When you are doing these kinds of sales, it's never really selling, it's serving, right? You're not going and trying to find someone who wants to buy a house or list their house. You're making yourself receptive. Another very strong term that when we associate with this kind of sales, with these kind of sales, is you're making yourself receptive. That means you're open to, your field is inviting. You're saying like, hey, I'm here to serve you. I can help you. You're not saying over on this side, you're not saying, hey, list your house with me and I'll save you, blah, 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 blah. Big difference. The energy is hugely different, right? It's hugely different. Now, we have to take action. But again, when we're on this side of the realm, we are taking action from our higher self, which is often intuitive. But remember, if we don't start our morning out with that groundedness and that connection, and I call it a connection with the quantum field. If you feel like calling it a connection with your higher power, your higher self, with God, with the infinite creator, with divine intelligence, whatever you want, I don't think anybody on this planet, even the best psychics, I'm talking, when I say psychics, I'm talking people who've had EKGs connected to their brain and where scientists say, wow, yeah, something's really going on, or that's changed, or that's impossible. I mean, there are real psychics out like that, but you know what? They don't all agree on the same thing about what creates us and what oversees us, or what creates us and what helps us, what supports us, right? Because I don't think that infinite intelligence is any kind of bossiness. We have free will. We have free will, but it's there to love and protect us. And when we're in alignment with it, sidewalks unfold before our eyes. It really is true. Okay. So as you are being intuitive and open, receptive to your intuition, ideas are going to come to you. Maybe the idea is you should go here, or you should do that open house, or you should send postcards, or you should call up this old friend who coincidentally is getting ready to sell their home, right? I mean, this is how this happens. Intuition is so key to when you're doing spiritual sales. It's way different than going out and having a list of people that you're going to call today. Way different. I want you to really get the different vibe there. Okay. And again, when I say vibe and spiritual, I'm not trying to be woo-woo. I'm very science-based, but I'm here to tell you the woo-woo has a lot going for it because a lot of it has now been validated with science. Important point. Okay, so we're using our intuition. We're grounded every morning. Then we're taking inspired action. Inspired action has to come. But the difference is inspired, it comes from within, but that doesn't mean it can't be inspired from something external. So for example, if you hear a song and the words hit you a certain way and you get this idea and you're like, wow, I should do that for my business. That's inspired. Versus, oh, I'm listening to this podcast and he said I better go out there and make 50 calls today. That's not inspired. See the difference? So you're taking inspired action because nothing happens until something moves. And that movement can just be within your mind. But what I have found in my coaching practice is that when people take small steps, when agents do small things, whether it's committing to do a video a week, or maybe it's running a Facebook ad, or maybe it's just posting educational blogs, or doing a lot of open houses, as long as they feel good and inspired in carrying out that action, we can call it an inspired action. And inspired actions will attract numerous clients, even if they don't seem to be coming from the place of the action. It makes sense? If you're inspired to do videos and you're having fun and you're doing them every week and you're getting them up and you're building your YouTube channel, and then you get a listing and you're like, well, gee, Tamara, it didn't come from my YouTube channel. Maybe that's just not. No. We mustn't think like that. It comes from our inspired action. We have no idea what our higher power, what our higher self, what infinite intelligence has planned for us. The universe definitely does not make mistakes, right? Definitely doesn't make mistakes. As Albert Einstein said, God didn't play dice with the world, right? That's not how it happens. When you take an action, there's always an equal reaction, even if that reaction does not come from the place that you expected. So I go hold an open house. I get people there, but I don't sell it. I don't get any leads, but I was happy and joyful when I did it. And I get a listing from somewhere else. It's common. It's logical, not my favorite word, but it's logical to assume that that listing didn't come from that open house. But that's where you and I would differ, if that's your opinion, because I know that every action has an equal reaction, an equal or greater reaction. So if I hold an open house here on Saturday and then Tuesday I have a listing from a neighbor, I see the connection. I see the connection. And that's what I'm trying to help you see too. When we operate from a heart of service, from a heart center, spiritual sales, whatever you want to call it, it's an entirely different way to be. And trying to fit this into the constraints of our current real estate reality has always been challenged, but I'm seeing more and more people embrace it. They're calling it different names, and I can't think of all the names they're calling it, but they're giving it cool names. But this is what I have always taught, and this is what works. And it doesn't matter if you're attracted to a different teacher or a different coach who's teaching these same things, who's adopting these same things. I'm all for it, because my mission on this planet is to help the real estate industry become softer and more intuitive and more spiritually based. But I'm not using the term spiritual because that turns people off, because they think, oh, now she wants us to go to church. No, 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 no. When I say spiritual, I mean from working from your higher self, from your true intuition. And when you are working from your higher self, guaranteed, not only are you going to attract more clients, make more money, have better relationships, improve your health. I mean, if those aren't 5 good enough reasons, I don't know what are. But not only all that, but you're just going to feel better, right? This is why sales are so hard. This is why people get out of sales. This is why so many realtors have addictions, right? This is why people are so stressed out, especially in this industry. You know, high ticket sales are really stressful, but that's because the way you enter the playing field. If you recognize it as just a fun, heart-centered game, nothing is forever. Everything's all an illusion. You're here to serve. Stay connected to your higher self. Do your thing and just watch how easy things become. Just watch how your business blossoms. Now, if you find this challenging, as most everyone does, and you would like to learn more, if you click on the links below, I have lots of options for you. I have a free class. I have a $27 class. I have a free Facebook group where I do lives in some of these videos I post, but I also do lives, and I have a referral Wednesday going on twice a month in that group. So whatever you're called to do, read some of my books. They're all free on Kindle Unlimited, but do something to keep yourself grounded so you're operating from a place of abundance, not from a place of scarcity, which is over here. We're not hardcore sales anymore. That's not what this industry is. It is what this industry is, but it's not what this industry is going to be. Everything that's happened from all the NAR stuff and whatever, it's all for divine purpose. It's all going to be good. And if you want to be on the receiving end of that, you've got to step a little bit more into here. At least that's my prediction, and it has been the last 20 years. And I see it unfolding that way, so I'm super excited. Yay, Tamara. Anyway, click on the links below. Let's get to know each other and have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching.